Hello and welcome to this online tutorial. Before we start, I thought it would help to have a few tips about navigating between applications. So if you look down on your keyboard and you can see your spacebar, and to the left and right is the command key. If you hold down the command key and then click tab once, you can see a list of all the applications you have open in front of you, and if you click on the tab key once, you move to the next one, click it again, and obviously that when you release the command key, that will take you to that application. For example, here we are, and you can see up in the top left hand corner there is the QuickTime player. Hold down the command key again and you click it once, it takes you back to the Finder or the previous application that you had open. So this is a quick way to toggle between two applications that you're working with. One more bit of housekeeping we need to do is to just go to System Preferences and just check something. So we'll again hold down Command and click Tab, and we'll go to Finder, and we'll go up to our Apple and down to System Preferences and go across to Sound, and make sure that up here we have Inputs selected, and as you can see, yes, it's certainly picking up my voice, which is good, but this one here, make sure that looks like that. It is deselected, and if that's the case, then great. Just click Show All again and Command Q to quit System Preferences, and then pretty much we're ready to make a start with GarageBand. Okay, today we want to use GarageBand and we're going to record our voice. If you've already used GarageBand, then perhaps it's even sitting down on your dock. So if you click on that icon, then of course it'll open up. But I'm assuming today that you haven't used GarageBand before, so the simplest way to find anything on your computer is to use the spotlight. If you type in GAR, it'll come up the top hit GarageBand, and click on that, and then of course it'll open up for you. As you can see here, it opens up with several different options that you can choose. What we're going to do today is going to click on Voice, and we're going to choose that. You can see here Podcast, which certainly is an excellent tool to use, but that's a little bit more advanced, so we want to do it today the simplest way. And as I say, we'll just click on Voice, and then we'll choose, and it then comes up with the dialog box for you to give your file a name, and it tells you that's going to be saved in GarageBand. So just give it any name you like, something that you will remember later. So Test. Don't worry about all this down here, this is more when you're recording your voice singing, so we're certainly not going to be doing that today. So we click on Create, and you can see what opens up in front of you. The window that opens up in front of you, you can see has two tracks. One is Male Basic and the other is Female Basic. The Male Basic, if you look over here, you can see Vocals Male Basic, and this gives you many other different presets that you can use to change the quality of the voice. But because we're just talking and not singing, we just simply want it as the default setting, Male Basic. Of course, if you're female, you click Female and it already selects for you Female Basic. So over here, pretty much you don't need to worry about at all. So we'll go back to Male Basic, and we can sort of use that track. Coming down the bottom, we see a red circle, and if we hover over it, we see a tooltip, Start or Stop Recording. And we click on that once, and as you can see up the top here, we're recording our voice. This little triangle here is the playhead, and we'll use that a little bit later, so we'll just give it a few seconds to record a bit of input. That should do it. Come down here and of course just click the red circle again, and the recording stops, but the playhead keeps on going. So what we want to do is just click the space bar, and that stops it. And to go back to the beginning, just this one here, click that once and we're back there. On the other hand, we can use a keyboard shortcut. For example, if the playhead is there, we want it to go back to the beginning, hold down the function button and just click on the left arrow once, and that also jumps it back to the very beginning. So now we want to play it back and actually hear our voice. So all we need to do is to come down here and again hover over the little triangle, and yep, sure enough, start or stop playback. We click that once, and as you can see up the top here, we're recording our voice. This little triangle here is the playhead, and we'll use that a little bit later, so we'll just give it a few seconds to record a bit of input. That should do it. Come down here. Okay, click again the play button and it stops. Also you can use the space bar. So for example, if we just drag back our playhead a little bit here and you want to play forward, click the space bar, seconds to, and of course it keeps going. So space bar to start and also to stop. So we use our keyboard shortcut, function left arrow, jump it back to the start again. If you're happy with that, pretty much you're almost done and finished. On the other hand, if you want to think, oh, I'd like to have another go at that, you need another track where you think, okay, here's one here, female basic, but we don't want to use that because we've been using the male basic. So we go up to track and delete, and female basic disappears. If we go down to record now, we'll actually record completely over what we've already done. So that's kind of like take one. We might still use it later on. So what we want to do is to create a new track, and sure enough, new track. It's asking us, yes, real instrument, and you can see here, voice, that's what we want. So we create, and it says no effects. So we come over to vocals, and again we just click on male basic, and we're pretty much ready to start another recording. You might think, well, all we need to do is just select our second track and then start recording. But if we do that, our first track will be playing while we're recording our second track. So to avoid that garbled mess, just select male basic track 1 again and click that icon there. As you can see, this track is now grayed out, so it won't be playing in the background while we're trying to do our second recording. Go back to our second track, and now we will actually hit record, and we're off and running again. This time we want to put in an error, a mistake that we want to later edit out. So for example, chew, that's the noise that we don't want in our final recording, so we'll just stop recording now, click the red circle, hit the space bar to stop the playhead, and keyboard shortcut, function left arrow, and we've now got a recording that we like, except for one error in it. We are now ready to edit out our error, but to do that we first have to get the playhead at the position where the error occurs. So to do that we just simply click the space bar and start our recording, and we're off and running again. This time we want to put in an error, a mistake that we want to later edit out. So for example, chew. Okay, so we can see that this is our error here. So just drag back the playhead just before, and now go up to edit, and we're going to split. You can see there, Command T, the keyboard shortcut, very handy and a quick way of doing any of the editing. So we click on split, and there's the before, the playhead, and now we've got the after. And we know that that's about the end part, so let's just click spacebar again. Chew. Click spacebar again, yes. We drag the playhead back to about there, and again either Command T or edit split, and we now have the section in the middle ready to be cut out. To do that we deselect, just click anywhere else, and now go and click on the error, and we can click on delete on the keyboard, and it has gone. What we now find is that we have our first part, a gap, and our second part, and we want to of course join the two because we don't want to have that gap in the middle. So we click on the second part and we can drag it back, but you see that it's a little bit difficult to find exactly where the two meet. So there's an easier way of doing it. Go up to Control and make sure that Snap to Grid is selected, which it is, but then click on Show Alignment Guides, because now when we try it, we see that it snaps together, and so we don't have to worry about trying to guess whether there's a little pause or gap in the recording. Now what we can do is hold down the Shift key on the keyboard and click the first section, go back up to Edit, and this time we want to join the two, and again the keyboard shortcut Command J, so we just simply click on that and our edit is now perfect. It's as if it was never there. Okay, we've almost finished our work with GarageBand. As you can see, we've got our first track and our second track that we've recorded. We can now select which one we would like to send over to iTunes. So we might select our second one because we've edited out the error. So to do that, we go up to Share and Send Song to iTunes. As you can see, they have automatically put in a name for your playlist as it will appear over in iTunes. You can change that, of course, to whatever you like. So we go down to Share. Once we do that, it will be sent over to iTunes, which will automatically open up and begin playing your recording. Alright, we have our recording here in iTunes, and we can see here down here our playlist that was created. So we are now able to share this recording with others. So of course our students perhaps would be doing group work and they might want to then share with others in their group. This is very easy to do. Go up to iTunes and Preferences and go to Sharing, and we can see here Share my library on my local network. That's what we want to do. We don't really want to share our entire library, so we click on Sharing Selected Playlist. We need to scroll down, look for, there it is, our playlist that was created just a few minutes ago, and we will require a password so students in the group can share the password with one another so others aren't able to access their playlist. And so type in whatever password they like and then simply say OK, and then students can begin to listen to each other's recordings. And that's pretty much it, so thank you very much for listening. I hope that it has been of help, and of course you can go back and review all of the steps as much as you wish. Thank you.